Coming to you guys once again here from Indianapolis at the NFL Combine. On today's show, we'll look at some Combine updates who met formally with the Dallas Cowboys, the idea of signing Xavien Howard, and the NFLPA's report card has come out. We'll break that down near the end of today's show. Let's start with some more fun names, but more importantly, we have launched an Instagram page for the Cowboys Report. A bunch of Combine interview clips specifically about the Cowboys getting posted over there, along with other updates from the show as well. So go follow that if you haven't already. The goal is 100 followers. We're about halfway there. I'll link it in the comments and the description, but it's at Cowboys Report IG. We're going to draft talk. Let's talk free agency. Xavien Howard is going to be officially released by the Dolphins once we get to the start of the new league year. It's salary stuff that they have to wait, but he will be a free agent, by the way. I've seen some people suggest on media fans on signing X to join the Cowboys defensive backfield. Let's discuss the idea. In 2023, his numbers dipped a little bit. He wasn't as good this season. They jumped up a little bit higher than what we've seen previously, 62.9%. On the completion percentages. Yards were higher, 1 interception, 12 pass breakups. When you compare that to what he did in previous seasons, and knowing some injuries in recent years or red flags to consider, the completion percentage goes up. The yards dropped a little bit, actually. The touchdowns allowed stayed low. The interceptions and pass breakups have not been nearly as impactful. Is Xavien Howard a good football player? Absolutely. Is he the same guy that was at one time maybe the best corner in football? No, probably not. But you also would figure, you know what happens when you assume, but you would figure the contract would reflect that. And with Stephon Gilmore and Jordan Lewis set to be free agents, plus Noah Igbinoghene, speaking of former Dolphins, and special teamer C.J. Goodwin, corner is an area that this team should be a little bit concerned about. And the idea is you let Stephon Gilmore leave, you sign Xavien Howard. Maybe the money ends up being fairly similar, or maybe it's a little bit, I'd say more than it would be less. We'll talk about the money angle here in just a moment. But in general, do you want to sign Xavien Howard to the Cowboys? Why for yes and for no? That'll be today's pinned comment, and you should know the drill by now. You've been watching for a long time in theory. If not, it means an ad's probably going to come here on YouTube. So take advantage of it. Ignore the ad, head down to the pinned comment, and sound off Y for yes or N for no. Now, I don't know what Howard's market's really going to look like. I think this is probably a player who is on the just outside of his peak and prime. On the decline, maybe not steeply, but you wouldn't assume you're going to get the best version of Xavien Howard. And I think the market is the most important thing here. Figuring out just how much he's going to command on the market and what he's going to draw, because we know how this Cowboys team operates. They don't want to spend big money. So there's been some injuries. There's been some decline. It's not going to be $20 million, but is it going to be that much more than Stephon Gilmore? Maybe, and how much more might impact things as well for the Cowboys. It would make one thing true, given the history of Howard, despite some down production the past couple seasons. That's one hell of a ball-hawking trio. Between Diggs and Bland and Howard, you've got guys who at various points in their careers have all led the NFL in picks or close to it. That'd be fun. That is a, hey, you might allow some plays, sure, but you're making a bunch of plays as well. And that is something that is very important and very impactful from that perspective. So the potential trio you would have there in theory of Howard, of Gilmore, or of Howard, of Bland, and Diggs is a really fun trio. Of course, the alternative idea is you just bring back Stephon Gilmore. And that, he made some nice plays on the football too. His numbers, more games played, more targets, so the yards are higher, allowed a lower completion percentage. Both guys fit the veteran player opposite mold, but I would lean towards explore it depending on how much it costs, and that's something we won't know. Maybe we'll get some buzz here at the Combine, but we'll find out. Today's show is made possible by Game Time. You can see the view from your seat before you buy, allowing you to know exactly what to expect when you arrive to your next big sporting event. Maybe you're a theater person. My wife certainly is. Concert, whatever it is, Game Time has you covered. And making it easy and simpler. Killer last-minute deals. They got all-in prices, so you know exactly how much you're going to pay. Best price guarantee, by the way. Simply put, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying tickets to that event. Other thing I like about Game Time, by the way, are the zone deals. You pick the section, and Game Time is going to pick the seat for you, because who cares if you're sitting in seat 7 or seat 17? Doesn't really matter that much. You're in the section you want to be in. On average, 18% savings. The Mavs-Pacers game, ironically enough, of course, we're in Indianapolis, not that far from where the Pacers played. That's for the Dallas game, of course, because we're Cowboys Report. I had it 20% savings on that, so a pretty good deal on that front. Download the Game Time app today, create your account, use code CowboysChat for $20 off your first purchase. That's COWBOYSCHAT for $20 off. Link will be in the comment section and the description of today's show. So today at the Combine, we had the front 7 players speaking. Had some defensive linemen, had some linebackers as well. A couple edges mixed in that group as well. On top of that, here are the formal meetings. 8 players we know of that said they met formally with the Dallas Cowboys. Maason Smith out of LSU, McKinnley Jackson out of A&M, Ruke, I'm 90% sure it is pronounced Orhorhoro. I've seen other names because the R is silent, basically, out of Clemson. Kris Jenkins, hold your ranting for later. T'Vondre Sweat, who, by the way, we will have some clips of him about the Cowboys on that Cowboys Report Instagram, so make sure you're following that. Then 3 linebackers, Edgerrin Cooper, Junior Colson, Tyron Hopper as well. What we will do here on the Cowboys Report is keep you guys updated each day with what players we know met formally with the Dallas Cowboys, discuss those players a little bit as well, and we'll also have an entire video breaking down whatever formal interviews that we know. So if you haven't already, make sure you guys are subscribed, youtube.com/CowboysTV. Now, that does not mean, as we go to the defensive line here, the top 4 guys, we'll get to T'Vondre Sweat later on here, does not mean the Cowboys are going to take these guys no matter what. It means there is some level of interest, or there's something they wanted to know about these guys and wanted to kind of go through that process there. Doesn't mean those they didn't interview formally aren't on the list either, because many times if you know you're going to bring somebody in for a local visit or a 30 visit, you don't need to meet them formally because you'll do that later and save yourself some time. So you see that the numbers on there for Smith, Jackson, Orhorhoro, and Jenkins. Different styles of player here. McKinnley Jackson's called him. He's kind of the outlier of this group. He is a nose guard. He is a big boy on the interior, run stopper who has shown some flashes of being more than that. We did post a short with him on his meeting with the Dallas Cowboys. Maason Smith is spelled with 2 A's, by the way. I'll put him in the scare-roused category, where he's a very talented football player. We've seen flashes. He's also not produced at the level you need him to. I wonder if that's let's see if we can get a good vibe from him in some of those formal meetings. That's the LSU defensive tackle. Ruke is kind of a little bit more of an undersized defensive tackle. I'm curious what he weighs in at here at the Combine. He's been at times below 300 pounds, but fits that 3-tech mold the Cowboys have had in the past. Then there is, of course, Kris Jenkins, the Michigan defensive lineman. Now, he is a very different football player than Maason Smith, but it is a Michigan defensive lineman. Jenkins said he would like to rejoin Maason Smith. We'll have a short on that too, so stay tuned for that. He's more of a 3 technique. There is one similarity, and I think it is a taught scheme thing from Michigan. Both Maason and Jenkins don't hop off the snap real quick. Even though they are athletically gifted to do so, I think they were taught to wait and then go react. So let's say you take Kris Jenkins in the 2nd round, maybe he slides to the 3rd, whatever. Is that something you can handle as a Cowboys fan, or would you lose your damn mind and say it's the next Taco Charlton again? Be honest, it's a safe space to vent as you need to. Why for yes and for no? Can you handle the Cowboys taking, potentially, another defensive lineman? Sound off in the comments. T'Vondre Sweat, has had the best podium so far in terms of being engaging and funny and all that stuff. We'll get some clips of him as shorts and on the Instagram channel. That is a big boy. He says he wants to play in the near 360s, 340s. So that's going to be a really – he says he's going to impress with the Combine. We'll know that tomorrow night. We'll see how well he ends up running. But you want another run stopper, a fatty only. Sweat is certainly one of the better ones in this year's class. Over to the linebackers. Tyron Harper, not the biggest guy you can kind of see in the photo even. He's a little bit slender. But solid athlete. I'm curious just how well he runs. I thought he was better in 2022. He's an off-ball linebacker option. Edgerrin Cooper, for some, is going to be the top linebacker in this year's class. He offers the blitzing that's really valuable. He was very effective in that role. If you want someone to do some of those A-gap blitz, potentially alongside Micah Parsons, that would be super intriguing as well. Then there's Junior Colson. Again, Michigan stuff that you guys might get traumatized to. Sometimes just a slight delay in the reaction. Again, I wonder if that's a coach thing, because that was kind of the slower reaction time from the defensive lineman. But if you can maximize him being more physical, he's tough, not always physical. If that differentiation makes some sense, there's a lot to like about Junior Colson. So those are 3 linebackers to monitor. Didn't meet with guys like Peyton Wilson. I wouldn't be surprised though if some of those guys get some maybe 30 visits from the Cowboys. So who do you want the Cowboys to draft specifically in round 1? Other guys mentioned today, I think Sweat's pushing it for round 1. Cooper, Colson, I think pushing it a little bit, maybe less so for Cooper. Who do you want the Cowboys to take, though? Sound off in the comments section. We'll wrap up today's show with some notes on the NFLPA grades. They handed out their report card, so to speak. Anonymous, the players all vote on different things and scales, etc. Cowboys, in the end, ranking 12th among NFL teams. And most of this comes down to how the players feel about various elements of your organization. So to recap, treatment of the facilities, Cowboys ranked 4th. They got the A- grade. The food/cafeteria was a B. They were number 11th. Same with the nutritionist and dietitian, also an average of B grade. Locker room ranks number 2. That's awesome. Here's where things disappoint. Training room and the training staff, with the specific complaints being sometimes there's not enough personnel in the training staff and training room. This is a sizable drop-off from what it was last year, and I would argue this stuff can't happen. This is, frankly, an unacceptable grade from the Cowboys because there's no salary cap stuff to lie about and hide behind here. This is stuff that should rank highly. So that drop-off should be concerning and disappointing for your organization. Other grades here, a couple other notes. Weight room is an A, so big difference there between training and weight room. The facility is good. It is an indictment on the personnel and the volume of the personnel. Despite, I think this everyone gives good praise for Britt Brown. Need more than just him. Strength coach has got to be +2. So again, you have the bodies, or you have the top guys. You need more. Team travel was a C-. Come on, Jerry. Head coach was an A because Mike's a player's coach. Ownership was a B, 19th overall. Upgrade your training staff is my big thing here. You should not be ranking lowly. That's not a thing that should be happening. You should get high marks everywhere. It's not like money's an issue. You say you'd spend whatever to get a Super Bowl, Jerry. Well, there's no salary cap on your training room, on your staff. It's do you want to spend? So spend the money, Jerry/Steven. Do not skimp on the facilities. You're the Dallas Cowboys. You should rank pretty damn highly in pretty much all of those categories.